Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel, and in this video I want to cover the buy-to-let basics. It's for people buying their first property, whether this is a buy-to-let investment, residential investment, or of course the first house that you're looking to live in. And I want to cover this in 9 simple, approachable and actionable steps that you can take away with you. So before we get started, if you're interested in business mindset or of course property investing, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can be one of the first people to receive the valuable content that you can implement to get you started in your investment career. And of course, if you like this video, it will help tremendously if you smash the like button. And without further ado, let's jump into number 1. Okay, so getting started with number 1, it actually has nothing to do with property, but it's more interlinked than you think, and that is your credit score. So I'm going to grab my phone for this and show you. I'll record the screen so you can see this as I'm going along. But what you need to see before you start even thinking of applying for mortgages is looking at your credit score. And what a credit score is, it's a numeric representation of how banks, i.e. lenders, are going to see you as an appropriate lendee, i.e. how risky are you to lend money with. And this is really important because as soon as I looked into this, I realized that there were marks against me. This was years ago from a phone bill that I didn't pay when I was like 18. And if that sticks on your file, it's there for 6 years. Thankfully, because of me looking into it, I actually found out very early on, managed to solve the issue because you can negotiate and get it taken off, pay it off, settle it, so that when I was approaching my lender and getting a mortgage on the first term, it didn't come up on my profile. So there's a load of free ones on this. My preference is Experian or Credit Expert, but Experian is the app. And if it's your first time that you've ever looked at this before, what you want to do is sign up for it and you get your first 30 days for free. And I strongly recommend it. And what it will do, you can see on here, if you're looking directly on the phone now, I've got a perfect score at the moment, 999. That's just as it is now. And as I apply for more debt, more mortgages, because I build my property portfolio, that will fluctuate and go up and down. But what it shows you is you can get a report. It shows you what credit cards, what mortgages that you've got in your personal name. So you can see I've currently got personal mortgage on my property of 274,000. My Amex is 7,996. And what I'd recommend if you're just starting out, especially if you're younger and watching this and thinking, well, how can I get this up? What you want to look at is charge cards. Okay, so charge cards, and when you're 18, get credit cards. Now, a lot of people think lending money is bad. Well, no, actually, because if you've never lent money in your life before, how does somebody know if you are a worthwhile lendee? Should I lend somebody money that's never had money from somebody else before? No. So what I started doing from a young age is I'd get, at the start, the highest, I just got a credit card, which was a really high interest rate. Okay, but it didn't really matter because I was never going to pay that interest. So what I did is I mixed it up between buying stuff, everything that I bought, my fuel, any food that I went out, if I grabbed a Subway or whatever, I would pay it on my credit card. And then when I got my statement through at the end of the month, I would pay it all off. And what that showed is I was able to lend money within my means and I'd pay it off. Something you need to be really careful of is a lot of people don't monitor their credit cards as much as their bank balance. And so you can get carried away with spending on it, suddenly getting the amount out and it's like, crap. So the second thing that I did is probably 2 or 3 times a year, I would make a purchase that I was looking to purchase, let's say a TV for £1,000, and I would buy that on my credit card. And then what I would do is I would pay it down around £200 a month, and I'd end up paying like £20, £30 in interest. Again, a lot of people won't tell you this, but the next thing that lenders want to see, and what will affect that number a lot, is are they making money from you? Because the number one thing they're looking at is the risk component, i.e. can you borrow money and pay it back? But the next thing is, if you're just paying it off every single month, that a lot of people seem to advise, that's not going to do them any good as a business because they're not earning anything from you. So instead, every now and then, you don't need to do it all the time, set up something where you are buying something that you would buy anyway, pay 20, 30 quid on £1,000 interest, which I know is a lot, and just pay it down over a few months. So again, it's showing that you can pay down your debts, you're able to manage your funds appropriately, and they, as a business, because the banks are a business, are going to make some money out of you. Number two, before you even go out there, is you need to get a deep understanding of what you're even looking for in the first place. So the areas that you're going to be looking at, what the prices are going to be, because unless you know that your area that you're looking to purchase property, I'm looking at the buy-to-let sector here, but also for your residential, you're not going to understand the price and the numbers that you're going to need to look at. So just spend an hour or two getting an understanding of the types of properties, the area, and the rough purchase price that you're going to be looking at. For the sake of this, let's say we're looking at £150,000 purchase price. And then we'll move on to step number three. Step number three is, hopefully you've got this already and that's why you're watching this, but you need to work towards a deposit for your property. Now, there's three deposit levels that you probably want to be aware of. There's the 5%, the 10%, and the 25%. So the 5% is with if you've never purchased a property before, if you're looking into government help, they are going to match and give a guarantee to the mortgage lenders to cover part of that deposit if you end up defaulting. So the lender's giving it to you, giving you 95% loan to value, i.e. 95% of the debt, and you're going to need to put in 5% if this is your first purchase. 5% of £150,000 is £7,500. The next is 10%, and this is the most common for residential buyers. A lot of people get obsessed with putting in as much deposit as possible. My personal experience of that is why mortgage money is the cheapest money you will ever get, period, ever, period. Okay, so for me, if I can get 5%, I'm going to go with 5%. Okay, personally, I'm not that worried about the leverage on it because I'm paying it down on a repayment mortgage if it's residential, which these above two are. But anyway, if you are somebody that wants to put it in, you're going to need to put in 15,000. And of course, for a buy-to-let, a majority of them are going to be 25% deposits, okay, or 75% loan to value. So again, let's see if we could quickly do that in my head. 10, 20, 30, 37,500. So we've got £37,500 as your deposit. So before anything, and you're even looking for anything, you need to build up and actually have that money ready to go. And again, does it have to be your own money? No, you can look for an investors, but it's a lot easier to do a couple of properties yourself and get that experience and credibility before you start drawing in other people's money. Number four is get yourself a mortgage broker. So yes, it's very easy going out there and getting a mortgage, but you know, a mortgage broker might cost you a few £100, maybe £500. And I especially recommend this in the buy-to-let sector because they have access not only to every lender out there. A good mortgage broker will understand everything you're looking at. So you might go for the mortgage that has the lowest interest rate. That might seem logical, right? That's going to be the lowest payments on a monthly basis. Well, no. Do they charge you separately for a RICS survey, or do they suffer the cost themselves? How much are they charging you for that? Because some will charge you for a few hundred, some will charge £1,000 for doing that. Do they have setup fees? A lot of them will add 2,500 to the loan and just suffer the cost of that into your payments, but you don't recognize it. What about early redemption charges? Most mortgages come with an early redemption charge. So if you choose to refinance it before they want you to, most of them are around 2 years, by the way, you're going to get penalized for that. What about if you want to pay down your mortgages as you're building up your wealth? Do they penalize you for that? Most mortgages will allow you to pay down up to 10% of your loan every single year without penalizing you. But some don't penalize you at all. And if you've got a mortgage broker, they should be asking you the right questions so that you can give the right answers, so they can allocate the right lender that's right for you. Number 5 and number 6 with this is the hidden cost of things you don't understand that could impact you. Okay, so the hidden cost of buying a property. So again, we've got that mortgage broker. You want to factor in £500, and again, these are just quick figures for you. You've got solicitors that actually, this is a pain in the arse because you've got £1,000 roughly, probably plus disbursements and things like that, which will be another £200. But also, if you ever refinance the property, you again need another mortgage broker, another lender, another RICS surveyor if it's a different lender, and another set of solicitors. The big one, of course, is stamp duty. which at the moment there's a lot of help with the government and doing stamp duty exemptions. But right now on a £150,000 property, if it's an investment purchase, you're going to be paying £4,500 for that. And of course, are you finding the property yourself, or are you paying a broker or a trader like myself that might charge, let's say, another £4,500 for sourcing you the property? So all of these things add up and add an impact into you. And remember, the more cash you're putting into a property, the lower your return on capital employed is going to be as an investment. And these are the hidden costs that, number one, people don't take much notice of, and the reason for that is because they don't really know about it, they don't think about it. And so what that does is dramatically reduces your return on capital employed. But also, I've seen some people that are buying their first purchase that didn't know about what the stamp duty was going to be, about the disbursements from the solicitors, the mortgage broker fees, and they didn't actually have enough to carry through the purchase, and they had to borrow it. Another big one is the refurbishment, by the way. When somebody says it's going to be 15 grand, it'll be 18 grand. If they say it'll take 12 weeks, it'll take them 16 weeks, okay? Everything costs more and takes a bit longer than you think. So just be prepared for this hidden costs that aren't so hidden apart from to the naive, and don't be a part of that world. Educate yourself properly and understand that moving forward. Number 6, and the biggest one of all, and I'm having a little fun here, is not subscribing to this YouTube channel and getting valuable information that can actually enhance you so you can learn with this information that, by the way, is stopping you making your own mistakes. But the reason I do these videos is I made these mistakes too. So ignorance is bliss. No, it's not. It actually costs you a hell of a lot of money. And why learn from your own mistakes that can cost you a load of money? Why not learn from mine and invest a bit of your time? Number 7 is finding your power team. So power team is such a cliche mode of this, but what I mean by that is find your sourcer, find your solicitor, find your mortgage broker, ask them questions, make sure they're the right people for you, because especially if you're going in for an investment right now, a really important part of this is going to be speed. So when I'm purchasing property, and I'm probably purchasing a few properties each month now and carrying them through, trading them off, what I'm looking for is discounted properties, high return on capital, and the people selling them, they're not interested in money. They are interested in speed, number 1, and number 2 is certainty. And with everything that's going on right now in the world with a lot of uncertainty, that certainty is the thing that's going to make you the right person to invest or purchase that property from them. And where does certainty come from? Proof of the money, proof of the experience, and proof of the team behind you. Okay, jumping into the last 2, number 8 is cleaning up your accounts. This is going to sound so weird, okay, but this is advice that a mortgage broker and now friend gave me many years ago, is make your accounts look as boring as possible, especially if you are buying multiple properties, okay? So as I'm building up my portfolio, I have one account, and that account literally has my salary going in. I pay myself £25,000 a year from my business, and the reason I have that as an employee is that's enough to get access to the mortgages, and I have that going in the account, and then I have my regular reoccurring costs coming out of that. So my food, my mortgage, my car insurance, my fuel, and that is it. Okay, all of my other money, dividends, when I sell a property, it doesn't go anywhere near that account. Okay, and the reason for that is one of the first times I bought properties, you have to give, it depends, it's usually 3 months bank statements, okay? And those 3 months bank statements had about 40 pages for me, because I'd go buy that here, buy it there, run out of money, top it up 5 grand from another account and things like that. And his words were, you look like a drug dealer. And it's just like, you're just money coming in and you're always asking questions, and it just overcomplicates matters, because there's nothing wrong with it. It just slows things down, because as the mortgage provider, they have to go through every transaction. And when it's a Virgin Money mortgage, that's pretty easy. Where'd that 5 grand come from? Oh, it come from this account. Okay, can you show the root of that money? money. And it's all fine, it's never caused any issues, but it can delay it for literally months, because it is not somebody going, oh Jamie, I've got these 3 transactions, can you just explain them quickly? Yep, no worries, it's this, this and this. Nice one. It will be, seen this transaction on page 3, email that over. And then they'll carry on, and then you'll reply a day later, and then they'll take a week to reply to your reply, and you get the point, okay? So start thinking now about keeping your accounts as clean as possible. And if you have separate accounts, and I strongly recommend this, that if you look at my savings video, I go through a pot system that I utilize. Give that one a watch, and it gives you the bank accounts that I recommend. Keep the other stuff flowing through that, and keep your main account as clean as possible. Number 9, and finally, this is the most exciting one, is start your search in the first place, okay? So you need to go out, start talking to letting agents. Bit of a weird one, but if it's an investment, right now a lot of older and tired landlords are looking to give back their properties and sell it. They've got their properties with letting markets, very undertapped resource and tip there. Go to estate agents and find some properties. Go to sources like myself at We Sell BMV. We can help you find some properties, or of course get some direct to vendor marketing. Start talking to people, start looking at properties, start getting used to it, and start understanding the prices involved, and start putting in some offers. And you know what? Just really enjoy the process. This is a long-term investment strategy. Don't rush into your first purchase, and make sure it's the right one. So go out there, and of course the final thing is, once you've got that property, sit back, relax, watch the money coming in on a monthly basis, and most importantly, and do not forget this, smash the like button, and of course subscribe to this channel. Let me know what you thought in the comments about this video, and let me know if there's any other content that you'd like me to create. I hope this has added a hell of a load of value to you newbies getting out there, and congratulations, by the way, for taking the first step to take this step into your investment career. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.